So again, I think this is a lot of information to process of everything you said. And I'm going to continue on the same theme here, which is trying to focus on the customer journey, and so it's in one of the slides, as Arnab was talking about how they focus on converting a visitor to a prospect or a lead. And we come into action when a lead is already at the doorstep, when a lead is kind of showing any sign of being an interest of any interest to us or to the agency that we're talking about. At that point of time, these are the 7-step journey that we care or look at. So let's break it down. We'll spend some time on this slide and then we'll go into the depth of each of them. So lead capture, so lead capture is basically what Arnav was talking about, through a chatbot, through forms, or through a website, and all of the. Some are good methods, some are old school, some are really not effective at all. But everything is a lead capture opportunity. We also understand once you have captured the lead, it's not binary at that point. That is, they will buy or not buy, because it's not a one point in time decision. Happens, or it can happen after 6 months. A agency can call me today and I said that my policy will expire after 6 months, so call me after 6 months. So what are they going to do at that point? They will continue nurturing this relation, building that engagement with me, so when I am ready, they are right there with the right information to close the deal. So nurturing is very important, because there is a significant conversion that happens not at that day when you got the lead, but between that day and when you actually sell. And that takes us to the third step about selling. What happens in that situation? It is a process in itself, right? Whether it's about sending email, texting, adding notes, following up with internally or externally, it's a whole process. It can take a day, it can take a month. And how are you compiling all the data, coordinating with the prospect, coordinating with your team, with underwriters, or whatever it may be? Everything is done. And if it is just 1, 2, or 5 client, you will have it all in your head. But when you are dealing with 50 to 100 prospects or client at one point of time, it's humanly not possible to keep everything on check and knowing what is my next action that I need to take on each of those. That's where your CRM and your sales funnel comes into picture. But let's take one step forward. Even when you are able to close the deal at that point in that sales funnel, the most underrated process I would call in any industry, in any process, is onboarding. Onboarding is such a critical thing, but it is undermined because, we say, okay, now we win the customer. We go back to the hunt again, instead of trying to maximize that win. That onboarding is that honeymoon period with that customer, where you should be investing in building that relation, where you convert that customer into your advocate. That is the point where you are sending him all welcome email, you are sending him all information. Literally, you are baptizing that person to your industry or to your agency, telling them everything they need to know, telling them about, hey, if you have a claim, here is the information. If you have a question, here are my guys that you should be calling. And that will lead into a better experience. And then that's where your Google reviews and everything will come into picture. Hey, give us good reviews, because now you have that relation. And then comes stage 5, which is the moment of truth. This is where renewal will happen right after the end of the policy period. But if you have done it consistently with him, build that relation, then retention or renewal is not a big deal. Why? Because this guy is going to renew with you. And then it is that period of retention, is that when you are keeping that customer for 6 months or 12 months, what are you doing in that period? Obviously, you are servicing that person with adding new driver, issuing a certificate of insurance, all that fun stuff. But then it is also a period where you are maturing that client into an advocate where they are going and talking about you, bringing new referrals. And if you're not doing, you're not maximizing the customer lifetime value. And in that period, you have to identify, what is that cross-sell opportunity, what is that upsell opportunity, and a good data and a good CRM will help you do that. And then we talk about winbacks. Obviously, there will be some leaks. You will lose some customers. So what are you doing in that point to win back those customers?